good evening. We are going to play Scenario 6 of the Jenny Barnes Forgotten Age campaign, a solo campaign. Scenario 6 is the Mythos pack that is called the City of Archives, one of the more interesting scenarios as far as I am concerned. I am going to start with the flavor text, and then we'll quickly build our decks, our counter sets, and things like that, and then we'll get going. All right, so Scenario 6, the City of Archives, Intro 1. You remember very little of the next few days. Your consciousness fades in and out as your body grips with exhaustion, and your mind feebly attempts to comprehend what exactly has happened to you. The inhabitants of this place are the same creatures you saw Alejandro consorting with. Immense, corrugated cones of clammy flesh with 4 thick limbs extending from the top. They are horrifying to look upon, but they do not harm you as you expected they might. Your first few days are spent restrained and questioned by the creatures, several of which are somehow able to communicate in English. Others reproduce your language using an odd futuristic machine played like a musical instrument. You are reminded strangely of the jazz piano at the Nightingale. It is only then that you realize your body has been altered. You have no hands or fingers to play the keys, no legs to walk upon, no lungs to scream out. You are one of them now, one of the creatures that has taken you captive, and your original body is nowhere to be seen. Despite your captivity, the creatures do not seem intent on harming you. Instead, they merely interview you, asking all manner of questions about a broad range of topics: your society, your profession, your technology, your ecosystem, your human body. Their thirst for knowledge is unyielding, unending. Their questions range from the mundane to the complex. They implore you to write copiously in your own language, taking anything you write to store away in their vast archives. You are informed that you will be able to roam the city freely if you comply. So we need to choose whether we're going to cooperate with these 10-foot gigantic alienish Yithian beasts, or whether we're going to resist captivity. Again, there are pluses and minuses to both, having played this scenario a number of times. So I'm just going to roll the die. 1, 2, 3, I will go to intro 2, and if it's a 4, 5, or 6, I will go to intro 3. It is a 3. We will go to intro 2. So I guess I really want to roam around this city freely. So I will cooperate and tell the creatures everything I know. We're going to proceed to intro 2. You cooperate with the creatures, hoping to earn your freedom. You are sick of captivity. Perhaps you will be able to find a way home if you are able to roam the city at will. The creatures seem pleased that you are answering their questions, though their mannerisms are still completely alien to you. Days turn to weeks, perhaps even longer. It is difficult to tell. Finally, one of the creatures informs you that you are free to roam the halls of the city with several restrictions. You are not allowed to do harm to your new body, for it belongs to another of their race, and you are not allowed to leave the city. Your restraints are lifted, and the creature watches with keen interest as you get used to your conical body. In your campaign log, record that the investigators cooperated with the Yithians. So I shall do that. Pulling on my Arkham DB app. Campaigns, Forgotten Age. Adding a note. Cooperated with the Yithians. Alright, that's done. And we will move on to setup. Alright, so we are going to take the scenario card for the City of Archives. Skull is -1, -3 if you have 5 or more cards in hand. The Cultist, there is one of, is -2. If you fail, place one of your clues on your location. The Elder Thing, which is there is one of, is -2. If you fail, place one of your clues on your location. And the Broken Tablet is -3. Again, there's 2 of those. If you fail, discard one random card from your hand. That is the one that scares me. That's a -3. That's going to be hard to plan for. All right. we are going to take the agenda deck, Agenda 1, City of the Great Race. Somehow you have awoken in an odd, futuristic city inhabited by odd alien creatures beyond your imagining. You must explore this strange place if you are to find a way out. But your new body is difficult to get used to. Investigators cannot put item assets into play, including item weaknesses. All right, so we'll put that up there. We will take the Act deck, Exploring Pnakotus. Pnakotus. We'll say Pnakotus. Why not? Getting out of the strange city might be harder than you thought. Its halls are endless and filled with all manner of complex, futuristic machinery. Each copy of Yithian Observer gains aloof, so that is linked to the first act. We need to spend 2 clues to advance the act deck. All right, we have 3 locations. We have 3 locations that say the Hall of Pnakotus. And then we have 5 other locations and a bunch of treachery cards. So we're going to put the Custodian aside out of play. We are going to take these treachery cards out of play. All right. We need to get the Knight of the Zealot and counter sets. So we need the 2 locked door treachery cards. We need the 4 chilling cold treachery cards. And then we need the 4 Agents of Yog-Sothoth treachery cards. And then we need the 7 Striking Fear treachery cards. So we will take these, we'll shuffle these up. Before drawing opening hands, each investigator searches his or her deck and play area for all unique item assets. We will set each of those assets aside out of play. They do not exist in this time period. So I will take my unique item assets. So it's Jenny Twins 45s, the Expedition Journal, and I will set them aside out of play. Before drawing opening hands, if a player has Alejandro Vela, remember he kind of turned us into his Yithian friends, we will put him and set him aside out of play. So now I have Jenny's character card. We will put 5 damage, or 5 damage, 5 resources on her. I do have 1 mental trauma and 1 physical trauma. However, I lied. We are now Yithian. So we're still Jenny Barnes, but we are Jenny Barnes in a Yithian body. They should have, it would have been nice for a solo player for them to give you 1 Yithian body card running around just to kind of keep it thematic. But this is what we have. So I'll put the other Yithian bodies aside, out of play. We did cooperate, so we're going to put the Inter-Review Room Arrival Chamber in play. It has a shroud value of 2, a clue value of 0. After you begin your turn in this location, if there's a Yithian enemy in this location, you draw 1 card. And we will begin play in the Arrival Chamber. Then we will put the halls. We also put the other 2 interview rooms in play, but they are randomized. All right. We will put the halls of Pnakotus in play. We have the Western halls, the northern corridors, and then the eastern corridors. We cooperated, so we will search the gathered encounter sets for a Yithian observer. Do a little bit of randomizing while we're doing this, and I'll put that in play in the Arrival Chamber. But remember, he is aloof. Then we each gain 1 clue from the token bank. So that is especially helpful for me, because I am going to struggle with this. So we'll put charisma in play. I will also put the poison weakness in my threat area, although it's not going to have much impact on this, but I am still poisoned. But I guess the Yithian body isn't poisoned, but that's fine. Getting a thorough randomization of the encounter cards. Alright, now, the thing that I guarantee I'm going to struggle with is that although I am still jennybarnes in a sense, I am not jennybarnes. So my special character ability is not at play anymore. So I do not have the ability to get 2 resources every round like I normally do during the upkeep phase. Instead, my special ability is that each of my ally assets gains the Yithian trait. I've yet to figure out why that's important, but it is what it is. I have a triggered ability that after I commit a card to a skill test that I'm performing, I can double the skill icons of that card. So it's 1 card per skill test. I can take the skill icons and I could treat it as if it were double limit once per test. So not once per round, once per test. The star effect is just +2, but I get to draw a card. The ability to draw cards, as you will learn, is very important in this scenario. All right. So charisma is still on play. Most likely my ability to do well in this scenario will hinge very heavily on my ability to get some of my allies out quick. Remember, I cannot play items in the first agenda. So the first 5 rounds, no items for me. But since I'm only getting $1 a turn, maybe that's a good thing. So I am going to start to draw my opening hand. I draw Leo. Happy to have him. Again, really expensive, but how could I not use him at this point? We have Elusive. It's a good card. Sneak Attack, good card. Dynamite Blast, good card. And Weakness, Searching for Izzy. Guts. Alright, so I'm a big fan of cards that have skill cards because they have the double icon, which again is going to give me 4. Honestly, cards that cost money right now are not going to be great for me. I'm going to have Leo. I'm only getting 1 resource a turn. I only have 1 emergency catch on my deck. I don't see a reason why I would keep this Dynamite Blast right about now. Don't see a good reason why I would be using Sneak Attack. I will hold on to... Nah, I'm going to get rid of Elusive as well. So I'm going to draw 3 new cards. I get Narrow Escape. Happy to have that. Backstab. Not great for me, but Perception is fantastic. So that was a good mulligan. Alright. So it is my turn. I am going to look to the triggered ability on my location. There is a Yithian enemy there. Again, he does have Aloof, so not worried about him attacking me, and I will draw a card as per the triggered location, the triggered ability. That's also a really good card for me, but again, I will be somewhat hurting for resources. So what I'm going to do is take a resource for my first action. I'm going to play Leo for my second action. I have 2 more actions because Leo immediately gives me 1 additional action. With that 2 more actions, I will move to the halls of Pnakotus. It's a shroud value of 3, a clue value of 1. It has a triggered ability. During my turn, I can choose and discard a card from my hand. If I do so, I can move to a copy of another copy of Halls of Pnakotus. I have 1 last action. And I think the best thing for me to do would be to enter this. I'll enter this interview room. Interview room. It is a shroud value of 4. It is a clue value of 1. There's a parlay ability on there. I can test for intellect or for combat, interrogate the captive mind restrained here. If I succeed, I can remember that I interviewed a subject, but if I fail, I take 2 horror. All right. So enemy phase, there are no enemies, so we can skip that. Upkeep phase, I will draw a card. I get a knife. Now it's an item asset, so I cannot play that just yet. And I'll take 1 resource. Lone Wolf would be exceptionally good right about now. I'm going to put the first Doom in play. We are going to draw the top encounter card. It is put Cruel Intentions into play in your threat area. If an investigator has interviewed a subject, I take 1 horror and Cruel Intentions against Surge. I have not done that. You cannot take draw actions. I can test 2 willpower. If I succeed, I discard Cruel Intentions. So not being able to take draw actions, now, that doesn't mean that I can't take a card in my upkeep phase. What it means is I cannot choose to draw a card as an action or spend a clue of some sort or whatnot to draw a card. This should be not revealed. I can spend a clue of some sort to draw a card as an action. So I actually didn't even notice that was revealed, which is good because I would have been better off going there than where I went. So it does. I'm not thrilled about it, but it is a way to get another card on my hand. So I am going to commit Guts to take care of this. So now, remember, things double. So I have a 4, getting 4 skill icons there. So it's a 2 plus 4. It's a 6, 2, a 2 for my first action. This seems like a good opportunity to get rid of this. Skull minus 3 because I do have 5 cards in my hand, but I succeed because its 6 is reduced to a 3, so that goes away. And since I succeed, I'll put my discard pile there. I will draw a card. It's Taka. All right, happy to have her. It's another good ally. I would rather Lola, to be honest with you, just because of investigation purposes. But honestly, I'm not sure how much money I'm gonna have. So Lola, I probably better off hanging away from until I get Lone Wolf out, right? I can investigate an interview room, but I don't feel that great about that. That is a shroud value of a 4, so I would just be doing a +2 skull, blah, blah. With my second action, I'm gonna move to the halls of Pnakotus, and my third action, I'm going to move to the interview room. This is more like it's shroud value 1, clue value 1. It is a victory point. Forced after you enter. I need to test willpower 3. I am going to lose this miserably. So I'm testing a 2 to a 3. I take 1 horror for each point I fail by. Tablet -3. If I fail, discard 1 random card from my hand. So I do take 3 horror. I'll put 1 on Leo, 2 on my Yithian Observer, and now I will cry because I don't want to lose any of these cards. Backstab would be the best one to lose. So I'm going to roll. I have 6 cards. Number 2 is Perception. Oh, that's really bad. So I'd be testing a 2 to a 1, with most of that deck being super bad for me. All right, we need to draw a card because I need some help. But again, I can't play items yet, so flashlight's useless, lockpicks is useless. Let's see what I can get. Slip Away. It does have an intellect icon. I am happy to see that. That was my last action. Enemy phase. There are no enemies. Upkeep phase. We will draw a card. Deduction. Also a great card. And we will take 1 resource. I'm going to put the second Doom in play. I'm going to draw the top encounter card. Test 5. For each point you fell by, remove the top card of your deck from the game. If there are fewer than 10 total cards in your hand, deck, or discard pile, you are driven insane. Well, that's fun. Again, I'm going to get crushed on this one. I'm testing a 2 to a 5. Just kind of want to avoid the Elder Thing or the Cultist. Alright. So I lose by 5. So I have to discard, remove the top card of the deck from the game. So I'm removing High Roller. That's bad. Fine Clothes. That's bad. Daring Maneuver. Okay. Can I please get rid of a weakness? Cap Burglar. That's really bad. So these are removed from the game. This goes here. And I now have to also drop a card because I pulled the tablet again. I'm going to drop from the bottom row 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a 6. That's also a 6. That's a 1. So I lose Hard Knocks. I probably wasn't going to have the money to use that much anyway. Alright, so I am going to commit Slipaway. I'm going to get double the intellect icon on there. So I'm doing a 4 to a 1. So most of this helps, even the tablet, if I can pull it. I pulled it, and I passed. Man, that's 3 tablets in a row. I need to find a new area of that bag to pull from. So I get this clue as my first action. My second action is I will spend these 2 clues to advance the act deck. You explore the area near your interview chamber for some time, learning more of the city, its dwellers. Of the city and its dwellers. It is a place of knowledge and research inhabited by beings who call themselves the Great Race of Yith. For the most part, the Yithians allow you to explore the city without troubling you, though some of them follow you about and observe you with keen interest. As you pass through one of the city's meandering halls, you find a panel attached to the wall. It is a technological device you cannot hope to understand. As you stand in front of it, dumbfounded, one of your observers approaches cautiously. It extends one of its claw appendages and manipulates the panel in a convoluted manner. To your surprise, the wall in front of you slides open to reveal another series of halls. The creature steps aside to let you pass. Put each set aside location into play. So we are putting the Great Library into play. That is connected to the... Oh, I had this backwards. These are the western corridors. These are the eastern. It doesn't matter. They are the same exact thing. All right, so the Great Library goes here. The Towers of Pnakotus goes here. The Laboratory of the Great Race will go here. And then that's connected to the Yithian Orrery. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what that is. All right, and the deconstruction room. All right, choose one of those locations at random and put the set aside custodian. Put the set aside the custodian asset into play at the randomly chosen location. Each copy of Yithian Observer is no longer aloof. All right, so we just put 5 locations into play, so I'm going to treat them as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to roll the dice. 3. I am going to put the Yithian Observer into play at 3. Now, the Custodian. The Custodian is an ally. He is Yithian. When the investigation phase begins, if you control the Custodian, each investigator at its location draws 1 card. If the Custodian is not controlled by a player, parlay. The Fine Clothes would have been nice for this, but I had to discard that, unfortunately, because, why would I have pulled any of my weaknesses instead? But I'm not bitter, really. Test Intellect 3 to converse with the Library Custodian. If you succeed, something about its mannerisms seems familiar to you. Place 1 of your clues on it. So you have to have a clue. Then, if there are one per investigator clues on it, take control of the custodian. So I'm going to put him right up there for now. All right, I have 3 more actions. We will read the flavor text on Act 2. You have to find a way back home. Restricted access. You have to find a way back home. Surely, if the Yithians can bring you to this place, there must be a way to return. If 3 of the following are true, you must advance. We need to find the process. We need to dissect an organ, interview a subject, realize what year it is, activate the device, and control the custodian. So we know 1. We also know that there is a parlay action on the interview room here, which is the second one. Both those are going to be very hard to do for me, but hopefully we can find a way and go from there. So I have 3 more actions. We already saw, though, that interrogating a subject might not be the greatest thing because there are cards that will make you regret doing that too early. I'm in so much trouble. Yeah, my deck is really not built very well for this ridiculous scenario, and the chaos bag is not great with the 2 tablets. I don't often play Forgotten Age and go this route with the tablets. Just again, I usually roll a die and do some randomization, but I often find myself with more cultists in the bag than tablets. And defending against a -2 or risking a -2 if you don't have any clues is nothing. But the -3, having to discard a random card, that's going to be harder to really defend against here. So I have 3 more actions. So, well, I know I'm definitely going here. That is 2. Man. I'm going to choose and discard a card from my hand to move to another copy of Halls of Pnakotus. I don't see myself being able to play backstab for quite some time because my resource production is poor. And I'm going to go to the Western Corridor, so that's a free action. We already saw this accidentally, but again, it's the same thing. Shroud value 3, clue value 1. I will now, with my 3rd action, move. Because again, I investigated. I moved. Free triggered action. I move again. Shroud value 2. Clue value 2. Discard any number of cards in your hand. Shuffle your discard pile into your deck and draw a card equal to 1 more than the number of cards you discarded. That is a triggered action on the towers. A location action on the towers of Pnakotus. So I do want those 2 clues. The shroud value of 2 is a nice low-hanging fruit for me. My problem is deduction only gets me to 4, and the way I've been pulling tablets like a beast, it would be nice to have another investigate, which puts me back in this place where I'm hoping I can get Lola or Milan as much as I love Ichtaka. So with my last action, I'm going to draw a card. It is a trench coat, which I can't play yet because it's an item. So, enemy phase, no enemies. We will go to the upkeep phase. We will draw a card. Lola. Great. Better than great. Okay, cool. We're going to take a resource. Sorry, it's Taka. You know how I feel about you deep down, but you need to go. We're going to put a 3rd Doom in play, and we are going to take top and counter card. And what do we get? The Keeper of the Great Library. He is alert. He is aloof. The investigator has found the process or realized what year it is. The keeper of the great library loses aloof and gains hunter. That will make sense later, I assume. So I'll put him in his spawn location. The keeper of the great library spawns, shockingly, I know, in the great library. So let's do this. I'm going to spend 3 to put Lola into play. Now Lola would be amazing if I can ever get Lone Wolf, because I can exhaust her, spend X resources to discover 1 clue at my location, X being the shroud value. So I do not have that. But she gives me an intellect, so now I have a base of 3, and I'm going to try to get both those clues at one time. Please let me succeed here. We're going to do a deduction. Now I ain't scared of no tablet. Again, that intellect icon will double because of the body of the Yithian special ability. And I am doing a 5 to a 2 for both clues, and I pull. Oh my gosh. A -5. So, not so much. Thank you, deduction, for playing, but this game hates me. So, with my third action, what I'm going to do is take a resource, because what that will do will set me up to be able to exhaust Lola to get the second of those clues on the next turn. And again, these are the lowest hanging fruit for me from a clue standpoint. I am going to... Oh man, I really don't want to dump its taco. That seems like a bad idea, but I'm never going to be able to afford her. Let me think about this. I already threw out the cat burglar, so he's gone. I don't have Alejandro anymore. Is there really a world where I am putting her in play? Probably not. I'm probably just doing a whole lot of evading. All right. Bye, Taco. You're the best. We are doing a 5 to a 2 for my last action. Tablet, I succeed. This game is so annoying. But at least I did not have to choose or randomly discard one of my cards. I get this clue. That is my last action. And now I will go to the enemy phase, which we can skip. There are no engaged enemies, and there are no enemies with the hunter keyword. We will draw a card. Oh, how do I love you. Emergency catch. Great. We'll take a resource. We will put the 4th Doom on this agenda, which gets me close to being able to play some item assets, and we will take the top card of this encounter set. It is... Oh, man. Why do you hate me? We have a Scholar from Yithian. So I drew him. There was no spawn instruction, so he will spawn into my threat area. He's one ugly mother. All right, when the Scholar from Yith attacks you, I discard 2 random cards from my hand. There is a triggered action on here. If Scholar from Yith is, triggered action on here. If Scholar from Yith is ready and engaged with you, I can parlay test 3 intellect to attempt to pass as a member of the creature's race. If I succeed, draw 1 card and evade the Scholar from Yith. If I fail, he attacks me. So clearly, none of that seems like a great idea. I just want to evade him. And leave him there because he is not a hunter and I don't plan on going back here. So what I'm going to do is exhaust Lola. I'm going to spend these 2 resources. Take this clue. Thank you, Lola. You're the best. Now I am going to try to evade this guy. Now I have a base of 2 plus the 1 on Lola is a 3. Trying to decide how greedy I want to get here. I am going to play this. I'm going to play Emergency Catch and try to do multiple things at once. This is my first action playing Emergency Catch. Now it's going to trigger an attack of opportunity, but I'm going to be greedy, so I'm canceling that attack of opportunity. And now I get +2. Next skill test I'm going to perform is an evade. So I had the +2 from Narrow Escape, plus my 2, plus the 1 on Lola. I'm trying to evade at a 5 to a 2. Going once, -1. There's a -1 in this bag, ladies and gentlemen. That is incredible. All right, so we evade that guy with my second action. We will move to the halls of Pnakotus with my third action, and then we will mosey on down to the Great Library with my fourth action. That is a shroud value of 2, a clue value of 4. I could spend 1 clue to test 3 intellect to decipher the information I found. If I am successful, remember that I have found the process. Remember, finding the process is one of the things that causes the keeper of the Great Library to lose aloof and gain hunter. Not an amazing situation for me because he has 4 health, and if he has hunter, he's going to be chasing me around all of creation, and I don't really have a great way to kill this guy. Alright, at the end of the round, if there are fewer than 4 clues in a Great Library, add clues on to Great Library until there are 4 clues on it. Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm really in trouble. So there's 6 possible things we do. We know where 2 of them are. And just, even if I hadn't played this scenario before, understanding how Arkham works, you can kind of assume the other 4 are on the 4 locations that we haven't actually gotten a look at yet, right? So we know where 3 of them are, sorry. So we can probably assume the other 3 are up here. So I'm trying to figure, I need to do at least 3 of them. Trust me, you're going to want to do more than 3. But that's a whole other story, which you'll get to. The question is, so if I forego this one, so I would need to get the custodian, do that one, maybe, then maybe do the 3 up at top. Alright, we'll figure it out. Our enemy phase, upkeep phase. I will ready the scholar from Yith. I will ready my girl Lola. I'm going to draw a card. Dr. Milan, where have you been? Man, I'm so tempted to swap out Leo for Milan here, the way this is going. But I won't. And we're going to take just 1 resource. We're going to put the 5th Doom in play. Guys, it's about to happen, guys. We're going to be able to play item assets. Yes! As you traverse these strange halls, you come across a chamber you hadn't noticed before. It is filled with trinkets and items of all kinds from various civilizations. Many of them match the descriptions you have given to the city's inhabitants. Descriptions of the equipment you had on your person when you first encountered the creatures. Have they somehow replicated the objects you had with you? You take what you can find and you continue exploring. Each investigator searches the top 9 cards of his or her deck for up to 2 item assets and draws them. Shuffle each search deck. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck, and if the custodian is in play and not controlled by an investigator, move him to the location with the most clues, which, surprise, is the Great Library. All right. We are going to... We'll work this backwards just to make sure we do everything. We're going to shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. probably need my machete. No. I probably need... I kind of saw those cards. Alright, so we'll shuffle that one more time. And do another cut. I probably need something else. So 9 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm definitely gonna go through this deck. Look at that, 3 weaknesses. So I get to take 2 item assets. I will take my switchblade and I will take my machete. And we will then shuffle the rest of these cards. Man, I ain't gonna pull so many weaknesses in the next few rounds. It is going to be disgustmus. Where are my lockpicks? Man, that's what's... Oh, no, they're not unique. I need my lockpicks, yo. Lockpicks at the bottom of my deck. So we'll put that down there. So that is carried out. We'll read the flavor text here. Little by little, the memories of your former life are starting to fade. The most recent events are the first to disappear. But soon you begin to lose your grip on your human identity. Each investigator's maximum hand size is reduced by dose, which is fine. We're going to draw the top encounter card. And put Yithian presence into play in your threat area. If there is a Yithian enemy at your location, you cannot investigate that location or trigger abilities on encounter cards. Choose and discard 2 cards from your hand, and I can discard Yithian presence. So there's definitely a Yithian presence enemy. There's that guy, so I can... Well, I will choose and discard machete and knife to get rid of the Yithian presence. That's my first action. My second action is I am going to discard Dr. Milan. I'm doubling his intellect icons. I am doing a 5 to a 3 to parlay with the custodian. I succeed. It wasn't a tablet for once. Amazing. So I can spend one of my clues. I'll put it on the custodian, and that means I take control of him. So I did one of the 6 things here. So I will put 1 resource token on the act deck just to keep me focused. Alright, so that is my second action. My third action is I will put the trench coat into play because now I can play items. My fourth action, well, I'm going to put the switchblade in play. It is fast. And then my fourth action is I will move to the halls of Pnakotus. Alright. So that guy stayed aloof because I did not find the process. I chose to forego that wonderful opportunity. I do have a base of 4 evade, which I guess is going to be how I'm going to have to win this mess of a scenario. The question is, where do I want to go next? And I have no cards in hand, which, as you'll see, is going to be a problem, especially since I'm going to keep drawing weaknesses in about 5 seconds. So enemy phase, no enemies, no hunter keywords. Upkeep phase, draw a card. It's not a weakness. All right, we're good. We will take a resource. The Mythos phase, 1 doom on there. Top encounter card. Man, we are just drawing special. If there's a Yithian enemy at your location, you cannot investigate the location or trigger the action abilities on encounter cards. Oh. I have to do this again. I because I would have had to move, throw that out, move back, investigate. I could have put that in play, but I could not put the other one in play. I put a Doom. I grabbed another one of these dudes. I'm going to, with my first action, spend 3 resources to put Trenchcoat in play. Oh, wait, before that, I am going to, I control the custodians. I'm going to draw another card. It's not a weakness. It's amazing. I'm going to put the Trenchcoat in play for 3. That's my first action. I'm going to move. It's my second action. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to move to the halls of Pnakotus with my third action. No, I'm not going to go to the northern quarters. I'm going to try to do this while I am down here. I may regret this. So I played Trenchcoat. I moved with my second action. I moved with my third action. Man, I don't know if I'm about to do that parlay. Oh, I'm going to move with my fourth action. So I'm in the interview room. I'm going to try to do that second thing, and then I could try to do the other 3 things up there. So enemy phase, upkeep phase. We are going to already, and you don't have to exhaust a custodian. I do it just like I do Lone Wolf because I want to see what's going on. I would love Lone Wolf here. Ooh. Hello. I forgot I had this. That could come in handy, but I really do need, man, I really need the Lone Wolf. All right, I'm going to take a resource. We're going to put the second Doom in play. I'm going to draw a card. Are you kidding me? That's going to be a problem. My first 2 actions are going to take 2 resources, and then I'm going to exhaust Lola. And I'm going to grab this resource, this clue. Oh, I have to exhaust this to take this. Oh, Dynamite Blast. Great. Useless. My third action is I am going to commit overpower, so I have a 6 to a 4, and there is literally no way I'm using this anytime soon. So I'm going to do a 7 to a 4 with this parlay to try to interrogate a subject. I succeed. Flying colors. So I've done this. I'll put a resource on it to indicate I've done that parlay, and I'll put a second resource on this. If I failed, I take to horror, so I'm happy I succeeded, and then I will draw a card because I committed overpower. And this is what I was expecting for a while. It has to go to a location farthest from me. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll put her in a Yithian orrery. I have one more action. I am going to move here. That's fine. I am going to need to get rid of these guys soon. Alright, enemy phase, upkeep phase, already Lola, already the custodian. I'm going to draw a card, elusive. I'm going to take a resource. I'm putting the third Doom on the agenda. I'm grabbing another counter card. Well, this actually might not be awful because my deck is thin and I have a ton of weaknesses in there. All three, two. So I'm testing a 5 to a 2 to a 5. For each one I fail by, I throw out 5 of my cards. If there are less than 10 total cards on my hand, deck, and discard pile, I am driven insane. So what do we got? Discarding -3, so I have to throw away 5 cards. I throw out this weakness. Bye. Sneak attack. Quick thinking. Lockpicks. Rough. Oh man, you gotta be kidding me. I have a weakness in there. But that's fine. And of course I lost working a hunch as well. So these 5 cards are out. And I lost my lockpicks. Not happy about that. Alright, my turn starts. I draw a card. I get Lone Wolf. I'll put Lone Wolf in play. I think that's important. That's my first action. My second action is I'm going to move here. I'm not going to discard to do that. Shroud value 3, clue value 1. My third action is I'm going to move to the Laboratory of the Great Race. Shroud value 2, clue value 1. If there are no clues on the Laboratory of the Great Race, test 3 agility to manipulate the controls of the technological device nearby. If you succeed, remember that you have activated the device, which does not make him gain Hunter. If you fail, place 1 clue on the Laboratory of the Great Race. Shroud value is only 2. So I think I will hang there for a second. 1, 2, 3. I have one more action. I'm gonna move into the deconstruction room. Alright, shroud value 3, clue value 1. Test 4. Combat to attempt to retrieve a valuable organ from one of the alien cadavers. This test gives +1 difficulty for each clue on deconstruction room. If I succeed, remember that you dissected an organ. That also does not trigger Keeper of the Great Library. Boy. But neither of those are going to be easy. Alright. So enemy phase, there are no hunter keywords in play. Upkeep phase, we are going to draw a card. It is a weakness. I'm going to put poison aside because it's not really relevant right now. We're going to take a resource. So psychosis is, after you take 1 or more horror, I take 1 direct damage. Honestly, it's probably not the worst thing. I'm actually fairly good with damage. I might just leave that there for a minute. We are going to put the 4th Doom on the agenda. We will take the top encounter card. Securing Fog. Task to your location, limit 1. +2 Shroud. That's not great. My turn starts. I'm going to draw a card because it's a custodian, and I am going to gain a resource because of the Lone Wolf. So there's the resource. The card, I'm going to have to take a horror. I'll put that on Lola. When I take a horror, I take 1 direct damage. I'm going to have to get 5 clues. So there's the direct damage. going to draw a card. Overpower is the exact card I was hoping for right then. I'm going to take a resource. My second action. And with my third and fourth action, I will discard Psychosis. Because the direct damage thing, I mean, only 5 is not a great number. It's not a great cushion. So enemy phase, upkeep phase, I will ready Lone Wolf, I will ready the Custodian, I will draw a card. It is Guts, that gives me 5 cards. Mythos phase, I will put a Doom on Lost Memories. Draw a card. The Keeper of the Great Library, there are 2 of them there now, which is fine. Investigation phase, I will exhaust the Custodian, I draw a card. Narrow Escape. And Lone Wolf, I will take a resource. I think I forgot to take a resource last turn, so let me go check that. So check the tape. I did forget to take a resource in the last turn, which is great. Like I knew I was setting myself up to be able to do this. So I'm going to spend these 5 resources and exhaust Lola. I have to spend 5 because the shroud value is +2 because of Obscuring Fog. Now I did not successfully investigate. I just discovered. So I just get this clue, which is going to make the test easier. You could do a 6 to a 4. I want to try to bump that a little bit. I'm going to draw a card. Oh. Hello. Now I'm going to commit with my... So this was not... This is just a triggered ability. I drew a card in my first action. My second action now is to investigate. So it's a 7 to a 4. +1 difficulty for each clue on dissection on the room, but there are none. So 7 to a 4. It is -3 if I have 5 more cards in my hand. I do, which is fine because 7 to a 4 wins. I will draw another card because of Overpower. Get the Time Worn Brand back in my hand, and I successfully dissected an organ, which means I can put a third thing on there, which means I will advance. Not too shabby. All right. You believe you have discovered the process used by the Yithians to transport you here, but the truth is hard to accept. Your body was never brought to this place. Your mind has been transferred into the body of one of these creatures. Somewhere, in another place, in another time, one of the reviled creatures dwells in your body. You no longer have to perform any of the following tasks. However, the more you have performed by the time the scenario ends, the easier the transition to your human body will be, and the less likely the process is to fail or backfire. Be careful. Place this act in the victory display with this side face up as a reminder. I'm going to put the 3 resources on there to indicate that I have done 3 of them. And then we're going to proceed here. Repossession. You have gathered the knowledge necessary to repossess your body, but before you can initiate the process, you must expand your mind. Each Yithian observer gains Hunter, so that guy's going to start coming after me. I can spend 1 clue. How many actions have I done? I drew a card. So my second action was to do that. Yeah, so I have 2 more actions. Spend 1 clue. I can draw 2 cards instead of 1, and if my hand size exceeds the maximum if my hand exceeds the maximum hand size, I can draw 1 additional card. So basically, if I get above 6 cards, which is my maximum hand size, because of this, I can actually draw 3 cards. Now, if each surviving investigator has 10 or more cards in his or her hand, I can immediately advance. And beware, remember to complete as many of the tasks listed on 2B as possible. I will take that warning to heart. So, and also we want to try to get rid of Izzy because she She always makes things super fun. So my next action, my third action, I'm going to move here. Shroud value there is only 2. I will have 2 at the beginning of my next turn, so I will be able to get that clue with Lola. I'm never playing these 2 cards. So I'm going to, just in case I need to get rid of cards, I'm going to spend those 2 to discard one of those 2 Yithian presence cards. Alright, enemy phase. Upkeep phase. Well, we resolved the Hunter keyword because the Yithian Observer gained Hunter. I'm going to ready all of these. We're going to draw a card. That's deduction. I love it. We're going to take a resource. We're going to put the 6 Doom on play on Lost Memories. So 1 away from the Doom threshold. We take Dissonant Voices. I cannot play assets or events, which is fine with me. Start my turn. I'm going to exhaust the Custodian. I draw a card, the Machete. And then I will exhaust Lone Wolf to take a resource. I'm going to spend those 2 resources to exhaust Lola. Get this clue. Now, I have done exactly 0 actions. All right, I need to test a 3 agility. I have a base of 3 because Lola gives me 1. I can commit manual dexterity, so that's a 7 to a 3, and I really don't want to lose this, so I will commit elusive because honestly I foresee this game ending in the Yithian overrollery. So I'm doing an 8 to a 3. I succeed, so I get a card because of manual dexterity. Interesting. And then I can put a 4th resource on that because I've done 4 of them, and I can put 1 resource on there to indicate that's one of the 4 I have done. I have activated the vice that is still not trigger the Hunter ability of the Keeper of the Great Library, which I'm more than fine with. So literally my first action was to do that location ability. My second action is going to be to move. It's a shroud value of 4, a clue value of 1. For 2 actions, if there are no clues on Yithian Orrery, I can realize that I remember what year it is. So I have 2 actions left. I have to put a clue on there. Shroud value is not great. Investigating Izzy is a 4 as well. So with my last 2 actions, I'm going to take 2 resources. Now, I'll take 1 resource. And then I'm going to discard these 2 cards to get rid of this Yithian presence. Alright, enemy phase. We're resolving the Hunter keyword. Upkeep phase. I'm going to ready these 3 cards. We're going to draw a card. It is Slip Away. Has an intellect icon, which I like. We're going to take 1 resource. Mythos phase. We're going to add another Doom to the agenda. Oh, by the way, when you're in the Yithian Orrery, you can increase your maximum hand size by 2. So it's now it was back to 8. That's not going to last for long. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. If the custodian is in play and not controlled, it is controlled. If an investigator has a pendant, I don't. Remember the pendant you could have gotten in the very first supply way back then? Humanity fading. How long has it been? Days, weeks, years? Each investigator's maximum hand size is reduced by 4. We do need to shuffle this back into this, which always drives me crazy when there's still a million cards in here. But it is what it is. Oh, this at the end of the round I could have discarded Dissonant Voices. So I'll put that back in there. Alright. We now draw an encounter card. Moment of Truth. That is fine. Dissonant Voices is back. I am fine with that. Custodian, I draw a card. It is Perception. Ooh, interesting. Lone Wolf, I will get a resource. My first action, I'm going to take a resource. I'm going to spend 4 resources as part of Lola. Get this clue. I am then going to... I have 2 more actions. I am going to do the... Remember what year it is? So... That and that. No, maybe I don't want to do that just yet. I can do that next turn because I don't want them to start huntering. Huntering is not a word, but that's fine. What I want to do is get rid of Izzy. So I'm doing a 3 to a 4 for 2 actions. That's 4 more. So a 7 to a 4. 8, 9 to a 4. Oh no, just an 8. 9 to a 4. 9 to a 4. So it's a 3, 7, 8, 9 to a 4. 2 actions to try to get rid of searching for Izzy. I succeed. She goes away. I have 1 more action. I'm going to spend a clue to draw 3 cards. So 1, 2. I'm sorry. Spend a clue to draw 2 cards. Your hand exceeds the maximum hand size. Draw one of this card. It does not. I'm just at 4. But my maximum hand size is actually 6. So we're fine. So enemy phase. We're going to resolve the hunter keyword. Upkeep phase. Ready all these. We will draw a card. We will take a resource. Alright, end of round effects. Dissonant Voices goes away. We will put the second Doom there. We will draw an encounter card. Lost Humanity. So it's the test willpower 5. Discard cards. Now, here's where we start just doing the math. Now, again, I want us my first 2 actions to do that 5th thing. That's going to really help, right? So now I'm going to draw 1 card with Custodian. I have 2 clues for sure. It should both of them get me over my hand limit, so I can draw an extra card. So I should be able to get to 10. The question is, if I lose 5 cards, alright, 2 weaknesses. Alright, it's probably better for me to keep Guts and just lose 5 cards than it is to try to save this, because Custodian will give me 6, and then I'll give me some leeway to be able to make sure I get this done this turn. So I'm testing the worst right now would obviously be the tablet, because then I have to discard a random card from my hand anyway. Alright, -5. So I have to trash 5 cards. So here's 1. I need to shuffle these. When I do complete this whole thing, I will have to take another horror. I'm trashing 4 more cards. So deduction goes, hey, one of my weaknesses is out. That's good. So there's only 1 weakness left in here. I'm going to get another horror because I shuffled my deck. Alright, start my round. Custodian, I get a card. That's my 6th card in hand. Lone Wolf, I will exhaust. My first 2 actions, I will do the... I'll remember what year it is. They will give both the keepers of the Great Library Hunter, but I hope to be long gone by then. So my 3rd action, I'm going to spend a clue and draw 3 cards. It's 1, 2. Now I'm over my hand limit, so I draw 2 cards. I'm over my hand limit, I draw a 3rd card, searching for Izzy. Oh. Man, I tried so hard. I'll put her there. That's fine. Now I have 8 cards. We should be able to finish this easily. I will spend 1. Oh, that's not a clue. That's a resource. I'm going to spend 1 more clue. I'm going to draw 2 cards. 1, 2, and 3. I have 10 cards in hand. So that is the end. All right. Let's go to the results. Immediately advance. The machine whirs with intense vibration. It has taken many hours to construct, and you have had to build it in secret, using the knowledge you have gathered from the various areas within the city. It is a strange device of rods, wheels, and glass, about the size of a small filing cabinet. A circular mirror in the center sends your alien reflection staring back at you. You activate the device and feel a tugging on your psyche, stretching your consciousness across the aether of space and time. The memories come flooding back. All right, we go to R1. You awaken on the cold stone surface of the cavern floor, your mind dizzy from its journey through time and space. We check the number of tasks on 2B. We have completed 5. So we can report in our campaign log that the process was successful. All right, good to know. So we are going to get 2 bonus victory points, and then we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. So 8 victory points. Unfortunately, we do take another mental trauma. I guess it might have been too much to ask. Honestly, if I had thought that through, I probably wasted way more time trying to even deal with her. Or maybe I could have done that first. Who cares about the hunter keyword? Because they're so far away. Get her in last. I mean, this... who knows? It definitely was not... Definitely messed up something there, but... You know, we got through 8 experiences is nothing to be too ashamed of here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Resolution 1, save and upgrade decks. We are going to take a mental trauma. Save. Alright, we're going to check the campaign log. The process did not backfire. We're in Interlude 4, by the way. Those held captive. We're going to check the chaos bag and the campaign log. If all the following are true, the lead investigator reads a mind recovered. Alright. So there are 2 or more tablets in the bag. We definitely know that. We did rescue Alejandro, and the custodian was under an investigator's control when the previous scenario ended. You turn your attention to your surroundings. Though the creatures that ambushed you are nowhere to be found, Alejandro lies on the ground nearby, stirring into consciousness. To your surprise, he appears just as confused as you are. At first it seems as though he recalls nothing of the previous expedition or the Estli relic, but then his eyes suddenly spark with recognition. He grips your shoulder tightly and gazes at you as though for the first time in years. I do remember. We shared one mind for some time, the creature and I. It wished to find the Etzli relic, though for what purpose I do not know. He slumps backward against the stone wall, recovering from the sudden influx of memories. You believed me at every turn, even when the creature had control. You saved me from that abysmal place and brought me back to humanity. For this, I cannot begin to repay you. He shakes your hand vigorously, filled with a sudden and intense resolve. We will write all of this, you and I. Then we will tell the world what we have seen. So we record in our campaign log that Alejandro remembers everything. We add another tablet to the bag. That's going to be great. Save that. Getting another tablet. And Alejandro is now back in our deck, because he was just supposed to be set aside for the scenario. Now, if we did not have those things true, he would have been taken out of your deck. And honestly, this is the first time I am playing this campaign and having Alejandro with me the entire time. So, you guys are witnessing history. Alright, the narrow steps on the other side of the stone doorway seem almost endless. So we're back in the cavern, right? We were taken away. The Yithians came in, they took us to the City of Archives. We figured out a way to get back exactly where we were when those Yithians took us away, right? So the narrow steps on the other side of the stone doorway seem almost endless, though a dim red glow emanates from deeper within the cavern. No matter how many steps you traverse, the glow does not brighten. It almost seems to grow more distant with each step, mocking your tenacity. After a short while, you come to a small ledge where a stone gate bars your passage deeper into the cavern. The gate bears a familiar carved pattern, faded from age and disrepair, and seeping with an oddly discolored purulence. Check your supplies. We do have chalk. So the way is open. The situation sparks your memory, and you consult the expedition journal. The pattern is similar to the one found in the Etzli ruins. Using your chalk and the drawings in your journal as a reference, you restore the glyph in its entirety, and the grooves glow brightly once more. The stone gate lifts on its own, and you are able to continue onward. We suffer no ill effects. Check your supplies. We do not have any provisions. Remember, that was a decision I made, a strategic decision I made. So we do have only 2 resources to start the next scenario. Oh, man. I am going to use my medicine and hopefully not get poisoned. So we will cross out my 1 medicine. And we do have a blanket. So we get restful sleep, though after you descend hundreds of steps, you decide to stop and rest. Though your watch tells you that night has fallen, the lack of natural light is starting to affect your internal clock. With no flat ledge in sight, each member of your party claims one of the many narrow steps to sleep on. Though you long for a proper bed, at least your blanket protects you from the frigid chill that permeates the cavern. When morning arrives, your body longs for more sleep, but you know you must press onward and reach the Nexus as fast as you can. Alright, well, that was a scenario that honestly I didn't think I was going to make it out of when it started. You definitely see the power of Lola. She is an extraordinarily good asset. It allowed me to really just funnel all my resources her way, make sure I was able to get those clues without failing, without having to worry about putting clues down because of the cultists and the Elder Sign tokens, and then obviously discarding random cards wasn't going to be helpful either. Got a little lucky with the encounter deck. Definitely did something wrong with the searching for Izzy. Could have replayed that somehow to prevent her from coming out. I'm pretty convinced of that, or at least minimize the chance of her coming out. But it is what it is. I could have done this first. If they're hunters, it doesn't matter. But again, it is this game always has a way to make you pay for the thing you didn't calculate in how you were choosing your actions, right? So these are all encounter cards. I will separate these later. Custodian comes over here. I'm still poisoned. Nope, I healed my poison. So we will put that over here. Yithian Observer goes here. Scholar from Yith here. The interview room. Restraining chamber. The halls of Pnakotus. I was killing it before. The halls of Pnakotus. These 5 locations. This is going to go here. Alright, let's see what we got. Again, we're really close to the key of wise. And it does make me wonder, perhaps we should wait, but 8 XP. Alright. Here's what we're gonna do, I think. The A's in the hole, which is exceptional, so that's 6. I can take the cheaper Leo. I do like to put him out early. Really intrigued by the treasure hunter here. Sharon's always an interesting card. I don't love it. The fact that it's exceptional always seems a little quizzical to me, because you're getting 2 additional experience, but you have to spend 2 experiences to get the thing. So it's really not until the scenario after that you buy it that you start netting positive. Just feel like you're just better off saving stuff. I don't have that many illicit cards. I wish Sneak Attack was fast, but pickpocketing being fast is an interesting card now. Draw 1 card or give it if you give it to him, or do both. I will take a fast pickpocketing. Why not? I don't think I've ever owned that card. Could be fun. So let's see what I'm taking out. Deduction, clearly not. Sucker, no. Once you add, you can't take her out anyway. Perception, definitely not. Backstab's actually been surprisingly helpful. Working House, no. Dynamite Blast, no. Knife, maybe. Flashlight, no. Sneak attack, no. Trench coat, no. Guts, no. Quick thinking has been surprisingly helpful, although it is kind of seriously outdone by Ace in the Hole. Maybe. Time Worn Brand, no. Expedition Journal, no. Magic Dexterity, no. Lone Wolf, no. Chronophobia, Lola, definitely no. She gets the NVA, the most valuable ally from the last scenario. No, 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 no. Hard Knocks often comes in handy. Daring Maneuver is on the short list. Leo, no. Milan, no. Slip Away, definitely be helpful. I don't know if there's any parlay, but I kind of like a cheap asset that has a little bit of a meat shield component. Narrow Escape is amazing. High Roller, no. Can't, definitely not, definitely not. Alright, so here's my short list. How many weapons do I have in here? I know I have the machete, I know I have the switchblade, and I have the Time Worn Brand. I have Jetty's guns, but I'm never going to use. It's probably not smart to get rid of the knife. It's a good, cheap, early asset. So no. So I guess I am getting rid of Quick Thinking and Daring Maneuver, which I'm fine with. Only adding 2 cost. And actually the fast action kind of makes up for the lost possibility of an extra action with Quick Thinking. So remember, exceptional cards take double the experience. So we're going to edit this. I'm going to add Ace in the Hole. We're going to get Pickpocketing, the souped up version. Going to get rid of Daring Maneuver. I'm going to get rid of Quick Thinking. Back, save. Two and one. Alright, Jenny. Let's see if she can bring us home here. Well, that's it. As always, please put any questions or comments. I'm sorry, questions or comments in the comments below. I'll get back to you when I can, and you can join me next week for the sixth scenario in the Forgotten Age campaign. It is a good one. The first time I played it, I was not a fan, did not appreciate it, thought it was redundant and silly, and I had no idea why it was included, but oh man, there were some really interesting encounter cards that we did not see in this playthrough. So I will thank my lucky stars there. But having played it several times since, I have grown to really appreciate how cool this next scenario is. So glad you will all be on board with me. Again, in the meantime, happy gaming, and thanks again. Have a good night.